Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
We are here to read something that I'm sure everyone has been wanting me to read for a long time, and probably some of you are surprised I haven't read this by now. Like Zach was.
Yeah, well, I mean, you as you said, you've played the game, you just haven't read the fan fiction.
Well,
but
initially when this, because this creepypasta is older, and it was actually written before my Immortal. It was before Fanfic Nightmares was even a thing. Now, that being said, I originally didn't want to read it because I was only reading short fics back then, and it's a little on the lengthy side. However, ever since My Immortal and Mission from God and all these other ones that are like 40 plus chapters that I'm starting to read and do multiple parts for, I really no longer have that excuse.
Right.
So here we are, Sonic.exe. Now, this is actually, I'll warn you guys, this is actually my second time reading this. The first time I did it with Emmer. That audio got horribly corrupted and it's unusable. So that sucks. It's okay. I have another creepypasta for this month that I think I will get Emmer in on next weekend or something. So you will have your Emmer fix. I know you guys think he's, hilarious, but I got Zach and he's just as funny, right? Zach, you're hilarious too.
No.
Okay, Zach, I'm gonna need you to stop being negative for the purposes of my sanity, because I don't think you understand. This fic really isn't great.
All right, let's do this.
But let's just dig into this. And Sonic.exe. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else.
I don't think everyone is a
Everyone,
Sonic fan.
Zach! Everyone loves Sonic!
I mean, I love Sonic.
Everyone!
And you love Sonic.
All of you watching this right, all of y'all. Every single one of you. Actually, if you clicked on this video, you probably fucking are. And if you're subscribed to me, you probably fucking are. So, But still, everyone. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before. Okay. So what if which newer games have you played?
I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you were playing if your newer game Sonic experience has been restricted to like Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Generations and like nothing else, then okay, I'm with you.
Sonic Adventure 2 still has its fair share of glitches.
How dare you say that in my presence, Zachary? Though I
love it, but it's not a perfect game.
Shut up. Though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had.
Dun, dun, dun.
It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. You haven't played a glitchy game, okay. I liked how you get to explore the towns in it. Really, out of everything in that game, the one part you liked were the fucking towns. Out of everything in that game, you liked the fucking padding.
Did it have like an exploration, like an explorative overworld like Sonic.exe did? I never played Unleashed.
I wouldn't compare it to Sonic.exe or Sonic Adventures overworld, because those, like, even 06 has kind of served some semblance of a purpose. Stuff like happened in it. But like Sonic Unleashed, it was almost like the level select screen, but you had to like find medals and shit, and like it was just kind of there to make the game feel like it had content.
Okay.
So, until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox, as mailmen are apt to do, as usual, and left. Because sometimes he sticks around. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers, as opposed to CD cases for not computers.
For like your car, your Discman,
and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Oh, so Kyle has some kind of top secret alias, does he? Who the fuck is Kyle? Who is he really? Tell me the truth, whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird was how it looked. So did you? Okay, did you recognize it, or didn't you? You really can't have both, and I just need you to know that. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom.
He signs it at the end.
Then
that
would be more of an indication as to, the general content of the note. But hey,
they just could have said, like, it was signed by Kyle, so I knew it was by my friend Kyle. But like saying that I recognized his handwriting is completely pointless.
Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. Why can't you just do it yourself? I can't do it. He's after me, and if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me.
You're too slow.
Shut up. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him, but do it quickly, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird. Okay. Good job, Tom.
Maybe your friend Kyle is just playing a spoopy prank on you.
Maybe. Even though Kyle is my best friend, and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me.
What? How old is this person? Like, if you're in high school and your friend inexplicably, doesn't go to school for, a couple days, you think you're gonna check on him.
Yeah, you think so. I mean, I guess I'm known to, not talk to my closest friends for lengths of time, but, if I were to receive a weird something, a weird letter with an evil game disc or something, and he specifically told me to break it in half, I'd probably be okay with doing that. At this point, it's just a disc. Why doesn't he just do what Kyle asked him to do?
Because he's a big Sonic fan, just like everyone else, Josh.
Of course, right, gotcha. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him, even though he just specifically told you that's exactly what happened.
He couldn't have made it any clearer, Tom.
After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. He tried to warn you, you dipshit. Anyway, I looked at the disc, and it looks like an ordinary computer CDR disc. Well, if it's in a CD case, I certainly hope so. Except it had black marker on it, written Sonic.exe. And it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else. Oh man, Detective Tom is on the case! Like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it. He specifically told you not to do that.
I mean, he's my best friend, and I trust him. It's fucking Sonic.
Since I'm a big Sonic fan, I went up to my room and turned on my TV, on my computer, and put the disc in and installed the. He used the word "and" 4 times, and I want to smack you upside the head. When the title screen popped up, I noticed it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome! Because, like I said earlier, I liked the classics. The first thing I noticed was that was out of place was when I pressed start. There was a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember...
Darkness!
I remember what the image looked like in that split second before this game cut to black. The sky had darkened, and the title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666. ugh, can't get enough of this edginess. And the water had turned red like blood. Except it looked hyper-realistic.
In all of its 16-bit glory.
Not just realistic. Hyper-realistic.
That's more than just... Yeah. That's more than, like, what bloody water would look like.
It's more realism than the human eye can even process. It's more realistic than reality. Damn it. But the freakiest thing that was in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with 2 glowing red dots staring right at me! And his smile was stretched and wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured it was just a glitch and forgot about it.
Oh!
I don't know whether you all are aware, but a Darkness fun fact, that kind of glitch happens all the time with the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It's actually fairly normal. You know,
it was just a prank by Yuji Naka.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. It's just a programming quirk. You know.
It's just a prank, bro.
It's just standard affair. You have nothing to worry about. It's normal. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so, give or take. I wasn't sure. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF! What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Because it's obviously the strangest thing that's happened so far. Anyway, then I noticed something off. As you're apt to do. The background was dark, cloudy sky of the bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended, and seemed to have been in reverse. So how the fuck did you even begin to recognize it?
Yeah, also that's not the creepiest song from Earthbound, but like comes to mind.
Well, why don't you go to the evil Sonic and tell him to change his music up, because he's obviously not doing a good enough job.
You need to change this. It's not working. It's not working for you.
And the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure that something was up. Detective Tom, everybody!
Now he's got an idea. He's catching on.
I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? Yeah, because that's the weirdest thing that's going on right now. It's, you know, above everything else, the weirdest, most horrifying thing is that we have the chance to play as Dr. Eggman. That's what's concerning you. Not the bleeding, not the blood, not the dark eyes, not the freaking weird character select screen, not the creepy music. No. The fact that Dr. Eggman is a playable character, that concerns you.
He's a bit slow on the uptake.
If you were actually physically in my presence, I just want you to know I'd backhand you for that one.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Uh-huh. That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. Dude just busted this case wide open. You're gonna be chief of police someday, Tom. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. Yeah. I mean, it only looked hacked, you know. It may not be. This could all be a bunch of just a big giant glitch. You don't know. And it was really creepy. But as a smart gamer, I feel like you might be exaggerating a bit, buddy boy.
I haven't heard the words smart and gamer used in a sentence for a very long time.
Zach, what are you implying?
I probably, the last time I heard it was when my dad said, "You're a gamer, you're not smart."
Oh. That's not used in the same context whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nor is it suggesting the same thing.
No.
I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. You fucking little bitch. Like, it's just a hacked game as far as you know at this point. I mean, I guess you had the creepy note, but it didn't stop you from playing the damn game. Shut the fuck up. I told myself...
Too spooky for Tom.
Yeah, obviously. I told myself that it was just a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that. It can be whatever it wants to be. It was born that way, guys. There's nothing wrong with
life.
it. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails. And when I selected, I got started. The game froze for about 5 seconds, and I heard a creepy picture.
Pretty astute with this timing.
Yeah, I think he has a stopwatch or something.
I'm looking down. It's like 10 seconds, 5 minutes. Jesus Christ.
He is on top of it. I heard a creepy picture later that sounded an awful lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Are you sure? Because we need to know facts, Tom. So if you aren't sure about that timing, how are we supposed to know anything at all? Then it showed the typical level title thing. Descriptive, thank you. Except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red. And the text showed only, Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody, in reverse.
So, a not peaceful melody.
Yeah, so it sounded nothing like what... Shut up. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. Yeah, that was odd. What was odd was that Tails was running along a level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. Wait, you ran straight with nothing for 5 minutes?
I would have gotten like bored.
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure.
Like...
I probably would have given up on the game about that, or restarted and chose a different file or something. Like.
Also, I'm pretty sure the fan game in the Tails segment, you are not running straight.
The programmer was like, that's ridiculous. We're not doing that.
Even.
I think
at least the programmer had some sense.
I think you run along for like 30 seconds or so, give or take, and then the rest starts happening because they were like, yeah, we're not. No. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something, and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers, and he moves past more dead animals. Everyone's dead. There's blood everywhere. There's a blood orgy going on. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. Tails to continue.
Oh my god!
After
the English.
The English.
It's like, it's just bad enough.
After a minute passed, you timed it again. After the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and he's got to find his lost piece. Zing! And then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but his smile faltered. Obviously noticed that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious to Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move. So this had to have been a cutscene. Suddenly I began to have a growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger. Something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like the title image. Thought there wasn't a smile. You only thought. There might have been, though. Who knows? Who cares? When that happened, the screen turned black, and the static sound was off.
Okay.
It stayed black for about 7 seconds.
Again with the timing!
Stopwatch! And then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?"
That's a sure sign that you should shut this fucking thing off.
At this point, I was creeped out.
Only at this point. Only at this point.
The dead animals left him unfazed. But black screens for 7 seconds.
You're a fucking monster, Tom.
I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying, "Hide and Seek!" This time I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire.
So, like the Angel Island level from Sonic 3.
Right. Second act, but still, it's just Act 2. Everything's on fire in Act 2.
There's nothing spooky or special about that.
Yes, that's actually fairly normal for Act 2. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area. Well, I mean, there is fire everywhere, so I can't really blame him for that. He was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. Ugh, so crazy and shit. So I pressed down the arrow key as hard as I could, as if pressing any harder was going to help. Like unless the game's pressure sensitive, and I'm pretty sure it's not, I don't think you were helping. And made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2, oddly specific, was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds have passed. Man, he's just on top of it. The man just knows. As I helped Tails run through the forest, and then I see his day job is a track coach, so he just has stopwatches. It's just
he's always got one of those things around his neck.
Yeah, he's on top of it.
He uses it to time like totally mundane things in all of his, like in all facets of his life. All right.
And then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining on him, flying! I'm
just imagining like gym coach Tom just yelling at Tails to give it more hustle.
Get in the game! Sonic wasn't...
Run faster, you little shit!
Sonic wasn't running. He was actually flying! I believe I can fly.
No, don't drag R. Kelly into this.
I refuse to... The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic and he had the black and red eyes again. Only this time, he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. You timed his sorrow?
My God.
Damn it, Jimmy! You cried for a whole 30 seconds today! You're out of the game!
Get on the bench!
The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself.
Oh, God. You pussy.
But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. Damn it. The text returned, only this time it said, You're
too slow!
Want to try again? And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails were supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? Probably the same reason that you didn't destroy this disc like your best friend Kyle fucking told you to do.
Jesus.
I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next.
He ain't gonna let it get to him.
He ain't gonna let it get to him. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black again, and it stayed there for another 10 seconds. Just... This time the level said, you can't run. I was really freaked out by now, but you weren't gonna let it get to you. You liar. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack. Yes! This entire thing so far has been one gigantic glitch. Normal. Standard. Happens all the time. If you restart the game, guarantee everything will go back to normal. Or a hack, or some kind of sick, twisted joke, or anything really.
This is what happens when you blow through a cartridge to get it to like work too much. The moisture ruins the pins and makes the game haunted.
Yeah. But despite my... This isn't a cartridge, though. It's a disc.
Oh, well, you got me there.
But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. You just wanted to see Knuckles die. You sick bastard. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of Scrap Brain Zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark, reddish, cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Gygus' theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier. The one I said the Winter Cave theme isn't the creepy theme from Earthbound that stands out in my mind. It's Gygus' theme. It's really spooky.
You're a dork.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid, just like Tails did.
But he ain't gonna let it get to him!
Though not as much. Rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. You dick! He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level. Darkness. And as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then that maddening laugh came again. Then after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. You just want to see his pain. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes and the red static program. When static vanished, showing nothing but black screen. The text saying, "Found you!" Sorry, it's caps and lowercase, so I had to,
It sounded like Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah. So Knuckles, how is your sex life?
Well, I found you.
Oh, hi, Knuckles. Oh, hey, Sonic, what's up? It's Tails. He say I hit her.
I did not.
Oh, hi, doggy.
Okay.
Oh, God, why does this keep happening every time? Like, I do a fanfic reading and, like, there's, like, a bunch of other video ideas just kind of spawn during it. It keeps happening. I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Anyway, red static came again, and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly. Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. But Sonic vanished in pixelated black smoke before I could even land a hit. A terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and then I made him punch again. You have a punch button?
There's no punch attack in
Sonic.
In Sonic 3, like any of the classic Sonic games.
And Sonic vanished again, laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy! Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony! Sonic was actually driving us both crazy!
Ah!
And then, in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles, and the screen went black with another distorted, screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. I don't know, because I couldn't get my stopwatch in time. You weren't on top of it this time, Tom. Get your head in the game. Another text message appeared. With so many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree?
Well, I mean, you're a haunted video game. You're technically immortal. You've got all the time in the world.
What the hell? Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that, even though you just did. Make up your mind. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and blue. And he had the look of
Not Nipples the enchilada!
And he had the look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those are the actual characters tracked in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it! So I shut off the game and took a break.
Oh, finally thinking like a rational human being. Way to go, Tom.
I took a nap. Nap time! Wish I hadn't, because I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness. Though I was under the light given up to you weren't.
That's not pitch... Oh, God. I can't.
Listen, I know a thing or two about pitch black darkness, and I can assure you that if you were under a light, you were not in pitch black darkness. Because you were under a light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too." Their cries died out, and then I heard Sonic laugh. His laugh. It sounded a lot like the distorted Kefko laugh. Yes, we know. You've told us that.
That's been established.
You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle. Though he didn't last long.
He wasn't smart enough to take a break. Remember, kids, only play video games for 30 minutes at a time.
I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. Won't be long now till you join him and all my other friends. I saw him walking toward me, flickering in and out in several directions. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others.
Come to Freddy.
When he grabbed me, and I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game.
Why?
I don't know why. That's what it says. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. No, you really didn't. You didn't need to know. Listen, just walk away. It isn't worth it. Nothing about that is worth it. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky. Yeah, you're still stuck on this, playing as Robotnik. But anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. Yeah, okay. Apparently all it takes is stone cold silence to freak Tom out.
Jesus Christ.
This time I was in some kind of hallway. It didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games, though it has the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls
Oh God, we're in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
Let's go with that. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candle lights and a few dark bloodstains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above on the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, because you're still timing this, that red curtain sways very slowly. Whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing in a rather sad yet peaceful song, but I knew better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. So it's the Earthbound song.
No, the Hill Act 1, he said, it was a peaceful melody, except slowed down and in reverse, I think. I forget.
Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turns his head to the left and then to the right at least twice, then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was about to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward, because you're a dick. He did his usual running animation, you know, when you've beaten him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you chase him, as we continued going through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish, and the red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. Did you time it? Did you?
God.
How do we know? And then we headed down another flight of stairs. Headed down another flight of stairs down. No, I headed down a flight of stairs up. Damn it. This one was much longer. Took at least 1 full minute. At least? Are you sure? Ah! And then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red and the torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landed onto the third hallway, I noticed he now looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him, I was scared too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds. Just the one 15 second. And then it showed me a most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic.
Oh no.
Standing in the darkness, where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean like he looks so real, you could actually see the lines in his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. So soft. Is it Charmin Ultra Soft? His face. Oh God, he had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. And that's saying something, because I've looked at myself in the mirror, considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. And there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like a Cheshire cat, except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs. Cheshire cat has very sharp fangs.
It's a cat.
No, like the Cheshire Cat from like that. That's like it has a big smile and it has sharp fangs. That's like what the Cheshire Cat does. That's its thing. It's like 90% of what it does. Much like the werehog's teeth, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish. Ew, brush your fucking teeth, bro. And from the look of it, he had stains of blood, small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs as if he ate some animal. I stared at the gruesome image for a good 30 seconds. I hate you. Never taking my eyes off it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good, but you kept staring at it for the other 20 because you had to be sure. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time, I heard the Kefka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up, but it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God. That's the scariest thing you've seen?
I don't even, I'm at a loss for words at this point. This fanfic is so stupid. I can't come up with anything anymore.
It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic, when it hit me. I realized right there and then, this Sonic was a monster. Oh,
just now!
Just now! It didn't occur to you before, when all the animals were ripped apart and he fucking killed Tails
His
and Knuckles.
best friend.
Like, no, that was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, we're not sure, are just his little toys. And the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, an actual split second, as opposed to the other split seconds, which weren't actually split seconds, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness. Before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeching for a good 7 seconds. You actually timed that, you sadistic fuck.
Oh my god.
Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as the Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the 3rd save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened. His glasses broke, and blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face.
'Cause he was probably dead!
I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik and cried for a bit. You did this to them, you shithead!
You're such an asshole.
I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped.
That you put them through!
They were forever trapped within the game. Forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog. And always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds. Give or take. Horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one, and then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game. Literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you always as his toy.
That's gross. The connotation of that just
I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there. But at least I managed to turn it back on now. You could, like, remove the disk drive.
I was just thinking that. I was like, if that happened to me, I would literally just open the computer up, detach the disk drive, throw it into a river.
Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice... Oh, sorry. Managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, which you timed again, I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from. And what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes.
Hey, free Sonic plushie!
That's the end, by the way, in case anyone's wondering why I stopped. That's how it ends. It's over. Just Sonic.exe, everybody.
Tom would go on to review bad Sonic games, tormented by a plushie that could really do no harm to him.
Zach, what are you implying?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
What are you trying to say, you shithead?
Nothing.
Fuck you. Well, everyone, it's October. Spooky story. I know.
Not that spooky.
Not really. Not at all, actually. But you know,
it was stupid.
It was definitely stupid, but it was very infamous, and I know people really wanted me to read it because it's infamous. So yeah, Sonic.exe. Final thoughts, Zach?
Awful. Like 0 out of 10 would not read again.
Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.
Bye, everybody.